I started emailing companies, and I decided the first company that followed through, that's what we would test out today. And how are we going to test it? You see this mountain up here, and you see this one over here? We're going to go up on this dirt road for miles, and eventually we're going to end up on the other side of this mountain over here, where there's a couple cool things which I really want to see. And this company, WindOne, they sent me the bike completely free. One of the things I already realized is super important is gloves when you're riding, especially an e-bike, because you start going like really fast. And this thing has got some real good suspension on it, so you can hit bumps like rocks and stuff like that. It's got front end suspension here, which I've already noticed a couple issues with it. So far it really is pretty awesome, so I'm really loving it. This bike is completely stock. I haven't made any modifications to it. It even comes with a little bell here. But one thing it doesn't have is like a little pack, and I think if I had a little bag here, it could store the tools and maybe like an extra tube and a patch kit, things like that. Until then, what I do is I carry this backpack, and there's a fair amount of water in here, you know, probably about a couple liters of water is most of the weight. So I'll drink that as I go, so it'll get a little bit lighter. And this pack is, you know, pretty comfortable, but you can see like it does make me sweat on my back. That's really the uncomfortable thing about it. This is everything I'm bringing. I got a little bit of trail mix in here, and like a first aid kit, tools for the bike, a little mini patch kit. I also have the manual for the bike is in here, so if we have any problems, we can look at the manual. Let's see what happens. This is going to be an adventure. I'm excited. I'm really excited. This is the kind of stuff I love to do, where you don't know what's going to happen, and I don't really know what I'm going to find once we get up there and around these couple mountains. I'm not sure if you can see, but I reset our trip odometer to 0. So hopefully it'll, yeah, there it goes, 0.1. This road is completely blocked off. And that is really why I wanted to do an e-bike test on this road, because this is exactly the kind of situations where I'm going to be using an e-bike when I want to camp down a road with my trailer. I got to make sure I can get the trailer in there and the truck in there. Obviously the truck is a lot more nimble, but having a big trailer, you got to worry about how rough it is, how steep it is, and even if there's campsites up ahead. So having an e-bike, these are the kind of roads I'm going to be going on. This thing is going to be completely off-road its whole life, you know, assuming it's going to have a long life. I don't know. So let's go down this narrow, steep road. I mean, actually go up. We're going to go up, and we'll see what happens. These tires, I pumped them up once. I didn't check them again, but I did pump them up to 20. So, and they still feel really firm. It's funny because I did have to put this together in a sense, and it took me a little while. I read reviews, people saying, oh, it only takes about a half hour to put together. But honestly, it took me about 2.5 hours to put it together. I test drove it a little bit, and then I did retighten everything just to make sure, and it was fine, you know. Everything was totally tight. There's a cricket. This guy wants to go along for the ride, but I don't want him to. This right here is one of the steepest parts, so I need to set this to 5 pedal assist speed, and then I do have to put some force into the pedals here. And you can see like it's barely getting up, actually. That's a steep part, but then once we come around this turn, this is not as steep. It's still very steep, but now it does fine. The bike is totally fine. With pedaling, I'm going 15 miles an hour, and if I don't want to pedal, I can just pull down on the throttle here and see how it's slowing down. So it'll go to 9 miles an hour, 8 miles an hour, 7 miles an hour. Now it's at 8, 10. So it's going uphill about 8 to 10 miles an hour. on its own without me pedaling at all. First major test. That's probably the steepest part so far. And you can see I was really having to kind of push down on the pedals. It's definitely helping a lot. And then this here, I mean, I could just hold the throttle down and it would totally take me up. Not very fast. I think it looks like six miles an hour, maybe up to 10 going uphill. Let's keep going. Actually, here comes a vehicle. I guess I should get over on the ditch side. Really? Yeah. Down here you can see our camp. That's where we're camped. We're already probably a mile and a half into this trip. It's just amazing. These are old volcanoes out here. Is what's out here. Tons of lava rock and ash. A lot of ash and lava rock out here. So far we're doing really good. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Oh, check out that boulder. So far, the feeling of transporting yourself on a bike, it makes me feel like I have a transporter, like on the Enterprise. Because I hop on that thing, and now I'm up here with this epic view all of a sudden. And I mean, I've hiked up here. Actually, Echo and I hiked up here, but it's strenuous and it takes a long time to do. So you can only get a certain distance, and then you gotta start thinking about turning around. Here now, I mean, I don't even need a sip of water. I did exert energy, like I was pedaling most of the way, but you know, it's easy pedaling because it's an e-bike. And I know you guys that have e-bikes, or even just bikes really, but especially an e-bike, then you guys can relate to what I'm saying. And I'm a total e-bike newbie, so this is the experience you're gonna get today. I'm down there and I think, oh, I want to be up there, and so I just hop on this thing, making sure it's fully charged, and in a matter of minutes, with minimal output of energy, and really I wouldn't have to put any pedaling in if I didn't want to. I could just hold the throttle down the whole time. Then I'm right here. We got a long ways to go. Now this area is a little teaser of what we're gonna eventually see. These are aspens, and these are not very plentiful around here, but I guess as we get up higher in the mountains, we should start seeing more and more of these. You can see they kind of go up through this valley here. now we're coming around the other side of this mountain that I was pointing out to you guys down below. Let's take stock of how the bike is riding so far. It's freaking awesome. The kickstand, it does bounce, like so it rattles, and also the chain kind of slaps, which I guess is sort of somewhat of a common problem with bikes, I guess. So I'll have to do something about that, because when you hit bumps, like it does kind of slap the frame. Other than that, this thing seems built really, really strong. I mean, we're testing it, so who knows? Who knows? The welds could split apart. It doesn't look like the welds are gonna have a problem. It's pretty heavy duty. I'll go through all that when I do the full review. I'm feeling really confident on it. And you know, there is actually a little bit of a workout. When you get to the real steep parts, then you do need to pedal. And it has 7 gears, so you can put it in the lowest gear, and then it's not too hard. Actually, I haven't done that. I've been going up the hills in the highest gear, so I was pushing really hard. If I lower the gear, then it'll be easier to pedal. See, I haven't even experimented with that yet. So even in the worst, it was in the worst gear. I was going up hills in 7th gear, and I should probably be in like 1st or 2nd or 3rd gear going up the really steep stuff. But the battery's giving me enough power that I don't have to pedal that hard. I am getting a workout in. I definitely am, especially like in my knees and my legs. And you know, one thing, when they said they wanted to send me this bike, I mean, I just went with the first company that said they'd send me a bike. I was like, send it to me, let's test it out, because I wanted to come up here. I didn't really care what kind of bike it was. And when they told me it was this bike, I started looking at pictures of it, and I was like, man, it looks pretty cool. It's a pretty cool looking bike. It feels like a moped, but when you're riding these trails, the only noise you're making is the tires on the ground, you know? And then as soon as you stop, it's dead quiet. So if you had a moped, then, you know, the engine's still running, so you don't get the sense of peace and quiet. I mean, you can tell I'm digging it. We got a long ways to go. I looked at the odometer. I think we've only gone about 2.5 miles so far. We are almost at our destination, at least the first one of our destinations. I wanted to stop right here because now that we're on the other side of that mountain, it's getting very wildery out here. It's darker, it's denser. I feel like I'm in the Northwest. And man, what a great feeling to just minutes ago, we were down in camp where it's more deserty. You know, there's still pine trees, but it's a lot more open. And then just with a little bit of effort, and still no water, I'm still not thirsty yet. We're in a totally different feeling place to me. And as a nomad, this is what I love, like being able to end up in places that feel different to me, different environments. And it could be real small differences, and I notice all that stuff just because that's how we live. But sometimes it's big differences, and this feels like a big difference. Just going 3 miles on the bike, you know, and it's occurring to me now that I have multiple transporters. You know, I was talking about the Enterprise, the Star Trek, my Star Trek nomad theory. With the trailer, we end up living in different places. I just have to tow it there with the truck, and then in a matter of usually a few hours, we're at a new place, and it's just a different feeling. Everything's different. The sounds, the smells, everything is different. And then with the truck, I can take the truck out on most of these roads, really. But now with this bike, it's like I can just zoom around, and then you can see I can just hop off the thing. There's no engine running. I don't have to, like, it's not big, so I don't have to like find a place to park. I can just stop in the middle of the road whenever I want, basically. Especially on this road, you know, it's closed off, but all right, let's get to this first thing. I'll say what it is right now. Maybe I'll cut this out. What's up here is a campground that is totally closed off because this road is closed off. I don't know what kind of campground it is. I think it's a car campground. And one of my things living this lifestyle that I love to do is explore abandoned places. Well, now here comes a vehicle. Shit. My bike's on the side of the road. Good. Okay. So they must be working on the campground. That's what we're gonna see. We're gonna find out. I guess I shouldn't just leave my bike in the middle of the road. I'm excited to see what's up here. Then beyond this campground is another hidden treasure, which is another couple miles away. So we'll see if this bike can get us there. It's doing really good. Honestly, the only thing I'm worried about is the tires. You know, they're doing fine. They don't really slip and slide that much. You know, they're not super heavy duty. And I'm not driving over really sharp stuff. It's pretty, you can see the road. It's pretty decent gravelly road. There are big rocks and big bumps. One thing I want to talk about was the suspension. When you're hitting those bumps, it's like you don't feel it. If you're on a regular mountain bike, you're really gonna feel that kind of stuff. But this has some pretty good feeling suspension. The front end, it does slam back. So when you hit a bump, you know, you don't really feel it. It doesn't feel jostly. But the front suspension, the fork suspension, the springs in there, it does slam back. And I don't think there's any way to adjust that. I've messed around with these settings here. But that is just the preload. Something having to do with, like, when you get on it, then it's supposed to, you're kind of supposed to adjust it to your weight kind of thing. So it's kind of, yeah. I'm just, I don't know. It's awesome. Let's go. This is cool. I feel like I can hear a running stream, but it's just the leaves from the aspens. It's so unexpected. Yeah, I feel like there's a stream here, but I don't think there is. I feel like there could be rattlesnakes here. There's definitely a lot of birds. There's a chipmunk. There's so many birds. And people they just don't come out here. I passed 2 people on mountain bikes. Other than that, oh, there's that one truck now. It's just me. A couple videos ago, I was saying that we might be adding a piece of equipment to our daily gear that could totally change my nomad existence. And I could see an e-bike, whether it's this e-bike or another e-bike, it has to be an e-bike, is definitely going to be part of our ongoing system. It's small enough to take with. This one does weigh, it's about 100 pounds with the battery. I think it's like 94 pounds. But it's nimble enough. I can charge it off of solar power or the generator. The battery seems to last pretty long. We're putting that to the test today. It's gone down 1 bar out of, like, I think there's 4 or 5. Supposedly it can go like somewhere between 20 to 40 miles depending on how you use it. So 20 miles, 25 miles would be great for me. Just to be able to scout locations and just to explore. You know, if you go back and watch our videos, I mean, I'm hiking all the time and I love that. Like, that's the one thing I don't like about the e-bike, is that I'm not hiking. I love hiking, so I have to be cautious of that. Also, I can't walk the dogs if I'm on the bike. So the bike is going to be kind of like a treat and for exploration purposes. That's what I'm thinking. Because I would have never made it here unless I hiked, and then I'd be gone for a long time. I'd have to leave the dogs back in the trailer for a really long time. There's been actually a lot of places I go where there's a hike that's just out of reach of our camp. So this bike could really change everything. I mean, look at where we are. It's so cool. It's wild out here. I haven't seen coyote scat where we're camped for whatever reason, but there's a whole bunch of it right here, full of hair and bones and teeth. And the dogs would love it up here, but they couldn't get up here. It's too too far. Okay, now how do I get back to the bike? Okay, we're gonna check out these campsites that are in here. And then we've got, it's like 2 or 3 or 4 more miles to go. And I don't know if it's uphill or downhill or what. And what we're gonna find is more groves of these trees, these aspens. And one thing, I'm not sure how I'm gonna be able to capture this on camera. When I'm looking up at the mountains around us, man, it is wildery, but I can see groves of these trees and it looks like they've been burned. So that could be, I guess that's really disappointing. There she is. She got us this far. Okay, so there's 5 bars total, and we're down to 4 bars, and we've gone 4 miles. And I've really been pedaling at least half the time, but I am not tired. Wow, this would be cool if it's full of water and you camp right here. Very cool. One thing I'm noticing about when you pedal a fair amount, this seat is actually super cushy. You know, when you get a new bike and it hurts your butt, my butt does not hurt at all. It's very well padded. It is a little bit wide though, so when you're pedaling you kind of want to sit forward, but the inside of your leg kind of rubs a little bit. That's going to be the only sore spot on my body from riding this bike, as opposed to, you know, where your whole butt hurts from that little tiny saddle that usually is not very padded. You can see that, I mean, this is really, really cushy. Oh, it's really cushy. I mean, yeah, there's probably 1.5 inches of foam there. There's a deer looking right at us. Can you see it? It's like right above that boulder. And then on the other side of that road. Big ears. There he goes. Oh, that's cool. All right, so apparently bikes are fine, but this is a trail. I mean, this is like a trail. So I don't know if I want to take that or not. We might be going this way. There's a couple other trailheads around here, so I got to double check my map and see which way to go. So this is the thing. You can take bikes on this trail, but if we look and see, I mean, I don't know, should I do it? I'm going to leave this up to you guys to let me know. Do you think that e-bike could do this trail? It's called a single track trail. I can see bike tires from mountain bikes. You know, it's kind of rough. Yeah, so, oh, there's a lot of burned trees here. Oh yeah. There's another way we can go, which is kind of like a dirt road. You know, that bike could totally do most of this. It's fine. Here's a good thing, you can see these trees, the little ones, they're growing back. But all up this mountain here, they're all burned. Man, it's so burnt out. And all up that mountain there's more aspens and they're all dead. Okay, we're gonna go a different way. Maybe it'll be a little more scenic, and I'm pretty sure the trail will be a lot more conducive to the e-bike. You know, it could do this. I'm just, you know, I'm not an experienced e-biker, so I think this is a little bit beyond my skill level for right now. And if all we're gonna see is burnt out trees, then may not be worth the risk. Oh, here comes another vehicle. Oh, right there.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
I thought I heard somebody.
Yeah.
How is this trail on the bike? This is our road. And we still got tons of battery left. I feel like I could see a bear crossing our path up here. Or mountain lion. Can you hear the rattles from the bike? So when I hit a bump, the shocks really take it, so I don't really feel it. It feels really good riding it. You can see this rock here, and then you can hear the fork suspension slam back. Once it comes over the rock, it slams back into place. And it's a little disconcerting. It kind of makes me wonder, like, will that be a fail point in the bike at some point? I wish it snapped back a little softer. But I mean, I can hit all kinds of bumps and it doesn't hurt. Like, it doesn't hurt my butt or anything like that. It's very comfortable. And then every once in a while you can hear a rattle from the, especially when it's like washboardy, from the kickstand. It just kind of vibrates back and forth, like up and down. It's pretty tight, but this thing can take so much abuse, like as far as bumps, like as far as rough roads, that the kickstand, it's not tight enough And there's no way to tighten it, the kickstand itself, because it's riveted. There are a couple bolts that hold the assembly on, but the kickstand is riveted to the assembly. And then also, when I hit some of these bumps, you can hear the chains slapping the frame. Wow, it's neat out here. It's too bad it's so burned out. And here's a good example. I have it in the highest pedal assist setting. I got the gear on, I'm on 4th gear. It feels pretty good on the pedals, but I'm kind of just barely making it up here. I'm not having to put too much force into the pedals, but the battery, you know, it's kind of maxed out. It's very steep, like, don't get it wrong. Like, this is really steep here. So I'm not like booking up this at a fast rate. It's a slow climb, but the physical exertion on my part is it's there, but it's pretty minimal, really. And I can change this so it's even a little bit easier on myself. So I'm going 4.5 miles up, and we did lose a tick doing this climb, a tick on the battery meter. Oh wow, yeah, there's some flowers up here, pretty neat. Oh, this is steep. This is really steep. Oh, there's a vehicle coming, so I gotta find a good spot to get off the road. There we go. Oh. I'm glad I heard that vehicle. There's a little breeze up here, and then the insects, and then going slow like that, the motor's revving on my bike, and the tires are making some noise. I can just faintly hear that digger machine coming down. I want to get a shot of me coming up this hill. It's very steep. It's very steep, but it works. It really does work. If I was on a regular bike, I mean, I'd be sweating pretty hard. And coming down something like this, I'm learning about brakes. You kind of pump the brakes and then probably want to stop a little bit and let the brakes cool down, the discs. Talking about the brakes, it has good equipment on here. It's all Shimano, and the disc brakes, they seem to work really, really well. I really like how they function. And I'm using both brakes when I go down hills. Well, I'm working now. This is not, I mean, it's easy compared. There's a deer up there. Can you see that deer right next to that boulder, on the left side of that boulder? Just watching me. I feel like that's the same deer. And the view up here is just, wow, it's crazy. Got to remind yourself to stop and take a look. Wow. And we're going up. We're going higher than I said. We were going to go like 15 or 1600 feet up. But we're going higher. I mean, we're just going up now. And we got 3 bars left on our battery here. Trying to do the best camera work I can for you guys. This is difficult. We're only going about 3.5 to 4.5 miles an hour. I'm not quite making it up. Whew. Actually, it's really steep. Going down is going to be kind of a bitch. But like I said, I really want to put this bike through a good, authentic test. So when I do the review, I'll have a good background to give a really honest review. Hey, you guys, hit that like button. Let us know you're watching. The Nogs and I like to know you're watching. It helps out the channel. Make sure you're subscribed. You can see our review when it comes up. I'm going to keep going here to the top of this hill. The battery, it's probably about maybe, I don't know, maybe halfway or something like that. It says we've gone 5.5 miles total. The last almost a mile, we've been going really steep. This is the steepest part. I mean, it's crazy steep. I mean, even to hike this, it's very steep. Like, my shoes are kind of slipping on this stuff. Actually, yeah, it's very slippery. You know, it's gravelly, it's hard packed, and then gravel on top of that. Just to give you guys an idea. And it's so steep. Yeah, I know it doesn't come across on camera, but this is very steep. It's very steep. You couldn't ask any bike, I would say, to do anything that's steeper than this, you know, unless it's a motorbike. This bike is doing it, but yeah, I think I've maxed it out with this steepness level. So far, I love this bike. It's really awesome. I'm learning kind of the limits of it, and you know, this is too steep for me to bring the trailer up anyway, so that's something to think about. I mean, I'm really pushing it, and it's so worth it. It's crazy. The view, I know this is not going to come across on camera, but I can see for miles out there. I mean, miles and miles and miles and miles. Oh, so the trail that I was originally thinking about taking was the Basin Trail, so it's down in there. We decided to be on the up on the edge, what makes the basin. I mean, we're almost to the top of this mountain here. We're so high up. I'm really pushing it with the bike. I feel like I've done a really good test. There's hummingbirds around me here, but I am watching for rattlesnakes. Oh, there's only 2 bars left on the bike. What I've noticed is when you're really putting the bike under strain, the bar will go down, and then when I turn it back on, it might have another bar or 2 there. So I don't know really how accurate that is. It says we've gone, I think, like 6 miles, 6.5 miles. So I'm going to turn around here very soon. We're going to start heading back. So going downhill, even if the battery died on that thing, the gears on it work really well. So, you know, it has 7 gears. It's not like a 12-speed bike, but it has enough gears on there that you could ride it around pretty decently. You know, it's heavy, it's a little clunky, but without the battery, you're not stranded, is what I'm getting at. You can go check out our review of the first e-bike that a company sent me, which I put up on our Patreon because it was not a good review. And basically, I couldn't review it because the bike broke before I got into doing the review. That's why I didn't publish it here on YouTube, because it wasn't actually reviewable. So go check out our Patreon. If you check out our Patreon, that helps us out, helps support the channel. It is awesome out here. I freaking love it. There's so many birds and butterflies and bugs and flowers up here. And, you know, I would not be here without the bike. So I'll put a link to the bike in the description. And if you click on that link, Even if you don't buy the bike, it does help out the channel a little bit. Stay tuned for the full review of the bike. And we made it back to camp. This is always when Echo's like super excited, which feels really good. I'm sure Dodger's happy to see me too. He wants to come out. Echo, yes. Yes. Echo. 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 Good boy. So the bike. The brakes got hot coming down. I mean, I don't think it's anything wrong with the bike. It's like how I ride it. I tried to pause along the way to let the brakes cool off. They start kind of squeaking and you can feel them kind of fading a little bit, but they did really, really good. Because it was downhill the whole way. We'll check the odometer here in a second. We'll see how far we went. Dodger was anxious to get out too. Okay, it says we went 11.4 miles on the bike today. And there's 3 out of 5 bars left on the battery. You know, of course, going downhill, I hardly used the motor at all. I hardly had to pedal at all. I mean, it was downhill the whole way. So, you know, what is that? 6 miles, 5.5 miles downhill. So this thing still has enough power, I'd say, to do that whole trip again. Probably at least one more time. I would feel like you could even get away with maybe doing it a 3rd time if you needed to. It does take a while to charge up. It says in the manual 6 to 7 hours, and yeah, that seems about right. At this state that it's at right now, it'd probably take me 4 hours till it's charged up again. I like this bike. I like it. That was fun, man. That was a good trip. I did a live stream while I was up there, so check that out in case you missed it. Woo. That was fun. That was really fun. You missed me, Echo.